Hey, buddy, Thomas here. Today's something a little bit different. So I'm going to go over kind of like this chainsaw here and just some minor repairs to it. So as you can see, I'm missing my recoil starter on here. That's because on this saw, when I was pulling it, I broke off one of these pin sections, which I thought, okay, I broke off a little pin section, no issue. I have a spare saw inside the shop. It's a part saw. I've taken a few parts off of it and put it on here. However, on the 575 XP, a saw that they don't make anymore, this is completely unique to it. It's not like anything on like the 372 XP, which is what I have, my other saw. So yeah, completely different. Who knew? But long story short, what I'm going to go over is just some basic stuff. Since I already had this saw partially down to parade rest and everything, I'm just going to go through and clean it out. One good way to remove dirt, grime, grease, whatever is about 100 psi of air pressure. That usually does it. Thank you. And what you're trying to do is on these cooling fins right here around the engine, you just want to make sure you clean off as much as you can. Keep the saw running as cool as possible. Now, something that hasn't come in today, and I'll do it later, is my intake is pretty gnarly, nasty looking. I'll try to clean it up a little bit. However, I don't have that in yet, but I need to get this saw running. We are approaching hurricane season. I know it's a little ways away still, but I like to have at least one. I prefer two of my big saws running prior to hurricane season. I have 4 saws right now. I've got my 575 XP, my 372 XP. I've got a 455 Rancher, I think they call it. That's the one I got from my dad. I did a $15 repair kit on it, essentially tune-up kit, and got that saw running like a champ. In fact, I used it all day this afternoon to cut bay and black gum. So I'm just gonna go over. So what I did is I removed the little nut that was holding on the recoil starter thing right here, and I think the spring thing in here did not unwind. I don't really know. Yeah, it looks like it's all good. And all it is, I untied the knot here at the tail end. So I'm going to take this section off. Farewell, you did well. And hopefully this new section here, which looks the same. Huh, look at that. It actually has a Husqvarna marking there, so saying it's original. Whereas the one here, it says EM original, but it has no Husqvarna marking that I can see. So maybe, no, this one does say made in Sweden. So maybe I am in fact replacing it with an Authentico Husqvarna piece. So we'll see. And let's see if we can get this through here. Oh boy. My big thumb right now is not working too well because I just took a hammer to it not too long ago. But it should work well enough to get this moving. But I hope y'all are enjoying the videos I'm putting out. I try to put some new content out there. If you've been watching the videos on the shop building, I think I'm 2 weeks into building the shop. That's roughly the numbers, I think, and it's been going well. However, every once in a while I have a job that pops up, whether it be at work, real work, or at the farm, that has kind of slowed my progress. I was hoping to already have the studs up by now, and I'm not to that point yet, which is okay. I'm learning as I go along. That should work. Alright, now, which way does it recoil? Sure, that way. But also, let's see, if you've seen the black walnut stairs I'm working on, those are just about ready for pickup. I've got to talk to the customer on that one to make sure I know the exact length that he wants them cut at, or if we want to just wait and install them in person. Let's see. I'm hoping it just kind of gets in there. Oh, these springs are so fun. I think I might just be lucky. Let's see. Put this screw on real quick. If that's all it is, I mean, that's just simple. Never that simple though. You should see me the other day when I was working on the old chainsaw, the 455. It was, you know, oh, look at that. It even goes back most of the way in. Count that as a win. That ain't bad. I'll see if I can get one more. Yeah, I need to get one more little, see how that thing works. Get one more little revolution in there. Because you don't want that little pull handle flopping around, get stuck on something. So, if that's the case, yep, there we go, that's closer. Alright, so, essentially replaced said broken part for, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't the cheapest. It was like 19 bucks for that little piece. But it allowed me to crank my saw, which I am in desperate need of having a big saw. When I say a big saw, anything from XP, the XP lines from Husqvarna, those are their, you know, their professional grade type of chainsaws. This one right here, I think, if I'm not mistaken, don't quote me on this, I think my 372 XP is running 5.5 horsepower. This one's running 5.7 horsepower. I've looked at the 562 and the 560 or 573. I was thinking about upgrading, but I'm like, this saw is still kicking. Once I changed out the coil on this saw, I actually pulled this from my 372 XP. My 372, excuse me. I broke the handle on it, so I've got a new handle coming for that one, so I might be able to do a little video with that. And also the throttle, it was all jacked up. But I took the coil off of it, so I had to get a new coil for the other one. Long story short, this saw, I actually got it running like a top. All right, so now we've got that replaced. Let's just go ahead and do a little bit of cleaning up. Nothing much. All I'm doing is just removing this nasty stuff in here. Oh, and by the way, some of this in here, good old creosote, because this is the saw crapped out on me when I was cutting, starting to cut some creosote poles. I don't suggest cutting creosote. It burns like a son of a gun if you get it on you. I always get it on me, so that's always fun. It's probably not the healthiest stuff. It is a carcinogen, and probably in the state of California, it does cause cancer. So, but I'm just running this over here, just cleaning out anywhere that there's stuff that could, you know, sawdust or oil, grime, grease, whatever, that will prevent airflow into the cooling section and the intake. I don't want all the sawdust slowing it down. I want to get the max performance of this saw. When I run this saw all day, I want it to run. I don't want to have a breakdown. Sorry, that's pretty loud. As AVE says, engage squints. If you haven't checked out AVE, he's a Canadian guy, does reviews on tools. If you want an honest review on tools, he's got some pretty good ones. He has no filter, and language is quite intense, but hilarious nonetheless. Alright, so that looks pretty good there. It almost looks new-ish. Alright, now going through the actual saw itself. Just again, gotta run your blade of your tool through here. Remove all that crap off the head. Again, that's gonna just rob you of some minor performance, but you know, when you're running a saw that you're using all day, you don't want to have any lack of performance. You want to get the job done as fast as possible. But having a good running saw we'll do that. And all I'm doing is just lightly running this over here, and then I'll hit it with the air and blow it out. I will say this saw does stay relatively clean. It looks pretty nasty, but I mean, I've seen far worse, like my dad's saw. It was pretty rough. I'm not gonna do a whole lot with this intake right now. I'm just gonna get some of the gunk off of it. But this saw, when I first got this saw, I did have some issues with it cranking. I would just spend a lot of time just trying to crank it. But then I actually changed out the coil, and that did a lot better. I thought it was a gap on the coil, so I changed all that. I just got a new coil in it, well, an old coil, and I just put it on here. It ran like a champ, I tell you what. But if you're looking at saws, I've run Steels, I've run Husqvarnas, I've even run some Echoes, and I've run a Home Light way back when. Old Home Light, new Home Lights are crap, but old ones are pretty good. But you just can't get any good saws anymore other than Steel and Husqvarna. In my opinion, those are about the two best out there. They are good saws, and I'm not gonna lie, when I was younger, we had a Pullin Wild thing. I don't know if y'all remember the Pullin Wild things. The thing was wild. So that's a hose that goes to something. I think it goes down here to the fuel. Yeah, it's like a little return valve or return something. Yeah, it probably just got knocked off with 100 psi of air. Alright, so let's go ahead and calm down. The smell of creosote. Another thing, on these saws here, you've got this filter or screen, spark arrestor screen, I think they call it. Check those every so often. They do clog up with gunk. It's a two-stroke after all. They do clog up with gunk, and by any exhaust pressure buildup, you're losing power as well. You want to make sure this thing's breathing front and back. Alright, so she's pretty well cleaned up on the inside. Now, I haven't gone into the clutch and stuff like that, so I'm not going to even worry about that. For right now, that's not the issue. The issue was the pull start here. So let's go ahead and reinstall. Ooh, I forgot to clean this stuff. What was I thinking? So again, look at all that grime that just builds up there. The cool thing about these saws is they have like this little injection air system. So it's almost like as this spins, there's like some tubing that moves the air into around the cylinder head for cooling, as well as into the carburetor, so you're getting good cool air. That's really cool. You see that? You're seeing it more on some chainsaws, but you know, it's, if you haven't run a Husqvarna or Steel, then you haven't really ran a saw. But like I said, I mean, it's each is their own. I love my Husqvarna. It almost got away from me. All right, so this bad boy goes on here. Maybe? I took it off. I should remember how to put it back on. Follow the dots. There we go. Alright. Little pressure points there, it clips in, that's looking better. Again, this is just a quick cleaning. This is the ram injection air thing, I'll say. It's pretty cool. Again, just trying to maximize airflow. I've always wanted to, like, you know, port and polish like intakes and exhaust. Not so much on this little thing right here, but if I had some ported exhaust on this thing, it'd sound even louder. That'd be cool. This thing already sounds like a big boy dirt bike. Alright, there we go. So this goes like that. Think about my orientations. So really what, again, as this is spinning, it's like pushing air up into this little channel. It redirects it. Some of it goes up through the fins on the head, and then it also goes right up into cool air delivery for the intake of the carburetor. Oh, this is gonna be awesome. And again, this saw has not ran 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. It'll probably crank like on the first or second crank pull. Okay. But I was very fortunate to find this part on eBay. Daniel, calm down. I got this part on eBay for like 19 bucks. This recoil starter, and I was very surprised to actually see it say a genuine Husqvarna on it. Because unfortunately, a lot of that crap you get is not original. Again, if you want to see some funny videos on teardown of pieces of equipment that people think are awesome, check out AVE. AVE. He is a Canadian. He's got some smarts to him. He knows electrical. I liken him to like he's a UL inspector without a filter, and is hilarious and makes up his own vocabulary of words. He did a video the other day of starting a truck, bump starting a truck. Like, oh, this is so silly. Everyone knows how to bump start or hill start a truck. But it was 30 minutes long, and I couldn't stop watching it. It was just so funny. Yeah, good stuff. All right, so we've essentially done what we're gonna do on here. I didn't clean this up. This isn't overly too bad. I know people are gonna comment like, "Oh my goodness, you didn't clean this part. You didn't do the job if you didn't do this." But I'm trying to make a quick video here, and I want to get the saw running. Oops, sorry. All right. So, Daniel, stop. All right. There we go. Now, let's see if she has. Oh yeah, she's got fuel. I'm gonna crank this. No, Daniel, no. All right, let me blow this off. I've essentially gone through most of the tank. No. All right, let me crank this up real quick. Choke it. Stop it here. Let's go. She lives again, 575 XP. She looks nasty right now, but she runs. Very happy. Hope you've enjoyed this, something different. Have fun, thanks. Okay, so no video will be complete where I'm talking about how I just fixed my chainsaw until I cut something. So this is gonna be an upcoming video at some point. I need to work on it. But, don't fail me now. Mr. Robert sharpened this blade here, this chainsaw blade, so we'll see how she does. Yes, it will cut. That wasn't much, but that gives you a little sneak peek of what's to come. That is an ash log with some spalt, as you can tell. And Mr. Robert put a different angle on this blade, and ooh, she's aggressive. Hope this has been fun, something different. So stick around. If you enjoy the channel, please like, subscribe. I'm just doing this for fun, so people learn something out of it. Fantastic. If you don't, I'm sorry. I'm going to continue doing videos. All right, y'all have fun. Thanks.